Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we're continuing on here for our Kings of the Storm weekly number 12 coverage into the semis. And finally, Haas, a little bit of meat on the bones. It will be best of threes, and we're starting everything off with a Cursed Hollow.
Yep, Cursed Hollow, third game in a row now. And both teams
Popular map.
Played this. Yeah, both teams played this in their BO1. We saw Stitches both times. We saw Hammer both times. We saw Tychus both times.
Yes.
So I'm expecting to see these picks, pretty standard picks coming out. And I want to see a team go Illidan. I really do.
Unfortunately, we did miss out on Illidan game. I took a quick look. ESV Tempest has dropped 2-0 to Evil Geniuses, who are now waiting in the best of three finals. So the winner of this set will move on to Evil Geniuses. I looked at some of their drafts. They had Jaina's, they had Tychuses, but they also had Illidan's. So
yay.
Maybe, these are the picks coming back just in time for another patch and everything changes once more,
Yeah.
But draft is underway, sir. What do you think we're going to be seeing today?
ESV in their initial game, they banned Illidan, I think. I think they banned Illidan. But they have first pick
in our
this
previous
time.
game?
Yeah.
No, there was no Illidan ban. You were harping for a pick.
No. ESV's the first game we did. ESV against... who was it they played?
Our first game
APM.
was...
APM.
Yeah, APM.
APM against ESV Wildfire, I think. Yeah, Wildfire banned Illidan. They picked Valatasada. Because they have first pick, they might leave Illidan open and snatch that one away. Or they might ban it again and first pick that Rhaegar. We'll see. But yeah, both teams ready. The draft had started and they've banned out the Rhaegar this time. In fact, Magikarp have first pick. Interesting.
Yes,
and they banned out ETC.
Mm-hmm. So first pick onto a Hollow. We've seen now repeatedly Stitches, Sergeant Hammers, Uthers. Could be any of them. Could be something new. Really kind of hard to tell. Magikarp, however, has not really taken a liking to the Illidan. So something tells me we're not going to see it.
No, most likely not. What did they first pick last time? Last time they first picked Hammer, I think.
Yeah, wasn't
Yeah. No, they first picked No, there's the enemy team that had Stitches. Yeah, they went
Rhaegar.
Hammer.
It was a Rhaegar first pick, wasn't it?
They're going Diablo first pick. Okay.
Magikarp first pick, Rhaegar into Sergeant Hammer. Because they didn't have first pick. They had second.
Yeah. So
we're not
Magikarp
wrong,
now.
we're just not right.
Yeah. So again, they've banned out the ETC and they're going to take what they think is the next best tank. This now leaves ESV Wildfire with either Stitches, something like Sonya. Yay! Come on! Illidan Tassadar. I like that. I like that a lot.
Man, oh man, leave it to the ESV Wildfire to kind of satisfy that. But as you said, Diablo for the Magikarp, that's a stranger first pick, and I'm sure you have lots to say about it, but you are absolutely giddy that you finally get to see yourself in Illidan.
Yeah, and a perfect pick there alongside Tassadar. They don't have the Rhaegar for it, but they have the Tassadar already to support it, and that's a pretty standard pick rotation for them. But Magikarp, they could now go for Vala Hammer, but it's a bit risky into the Illidan going for both of those.
I'm actually more inclined to see a support like Malfurion and Zebo.
I prefer Uther over Malfurion here on the basis that you're picking it away from Wildfire because Uther is the only burst heal left in this draft. So it means that if you're going Malfurion, you have to physically be next to Illidan as he's diving forward to try and support him. Whereas Uther, you can just click Q and W and he's up to full health again. So I really like the pick away of Uther. But as you said, Zebo right now would be a great strong pick. It adds so much damage in there. If they go for Apocalypse build again, it would work really nicely. Lightning Breath again would just be so much more damage. But they might just go for Vala Hammer here, because if they let either or both of those go through, then Wildfire... Well, no, I assume Wildfire would take whichever one Magikarp don't pick, so I'd expect Wildfire to pick up Vala here. Probably go Vala Stitches or Vala plus support.
And there it is. That's the hammer for you, sir. Not the Vala, not the Malfurion, but it is going to be the hammer. Protect the hammer comp will be more of a thing. Magikarp, the only reason I was actually thinking more of the Malfurion than the Zebo is because I've seen some really good wombos with the Apocalypse into Ravenous, and without having that big AoE heal with the Tranquility, the Ravenous can get off some really fantastic damage. So that was definitely a synergy I saw. The teams going in a different direction. As you said, you brought up a good point. The only other kind of bigger burst initial healing is going to be the Uther, and protecting into the ETC into the Sergeant Hammer with the ETC band. I mean, that's a really nice front line for him. So we're going to have to see what else they can go with it. But of course, the return here from Wildfire is going to be the Vala. Could this also be a Tyrande?
It could work. They could go for that double healing ward, just help out the consistent damage of Vala. I'd actually really like a double tank in this lineup, but they can't go for that because they still need support. So they need a solo tank which points towards Stitches or Muradin, and then they need a support which has to be Malfurion. There it is. So they're leaving their last pick for their tank, and what do Magikarp want now? They need some more damage up in here. And right now, Nazeebo would be a perfect choice. Because what interrupt the Wildfire have?
Do you take double siege here?
Wait, they've gone Zagara again, they want that.
Okay, but it is still double specialist, as I said.
Double specialist.
Yeah, if it's either Vala or Blast for ranged assassins. I mean, I was thinking maybe we're going to see another Tychus. There, have been cases of Falstead popping up again here in the NA, but Siege, all right.
Tychus could work.
Is this the
here,
Wombo?
Though.
But is this the Wombo? Is this going to be the Maw and Apocalypse?
More Apocalypse, Divine Storm. It works, but they need some more damage.
Or Divine Storm, Maw, and Lightning.
Or that, yeah. There's whichever three you go for, of course, with the Diablo being changed up there. Nazeebo could work really well here, as could Zeratul. Zeratul seemed to have gone out of play a bit, but they're going to go Tychus again here. So it's exactly the same comp they ran last game, just with Uther instead of Malfurion. Which is fine.
Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Somebody actually just joined the chat called Man, oh man. Like, did someone say my name? You ever see those gophers? Alan, Steve.
Yeah. Man, UK lands are fun. Someone just starts shouting, Alan, and then back and forth.
Wow. That's fun indeed. So, I mean, it is going to be once more Magikarp favoring out this Tychus pick. And again, this is what they virtually did last time. This is almost the exact same draft as last time, but they had Rhaegar instead of the Uther.
They had Malfurion. They had Malfurion instead of Uther. Pretty sure it's Malfurion. Yeah.
Synapsis and Magikarp was Rhaegar, Diablo, Stitch, Hammer, Tychus.
Okay, that's fair.
Zagara.
Yep. Okay.
Exact same. So got Uther with it. Yeah. All right. So what are we thinking here for the last pick?
Wildfire have to go for a tank.
Yes, they do. Stitches, Muradin.
It has to either be full tank Stitches, which isn't as strong now, or Muradin. Yep, had to be the Muradin there.
They need the CC in that.
They needed the CC, and they need someone that can frontline. It's as simple as that. Stitches with Putrid Bile into that, you don't want to be running into a Hammer Zagara just kiting you back. So it had to be the Muradin, someone that can just jump in and lock down that Hammer, lock down the Tychus, or even lock down the Zagara. So it's a really nice end to the draft there.
All right, so those are your teams here for game number 1, guys. 3 for 3. It's going to be the Cursed Hollow today. But that just means that either we're going to have a salty run back or finally something else. There was a Reddit thread the other day. It was just like, play heroes, they said. Not variety, they said. And it's just like somebody had 12 Dragon Shires in a row. Yeah, kind of feeling like that a little bit today as Cursed Hollow keeps popping up again and again. But, it's hard to discount just how much of a fair map it is.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's one of my least favorites in rotation right now, just because of the RNG element of it. Yes, you can to some extent predict the tributes, but I feel like it's too much RNG because of certain timings and such. And of course the sheer size. It was always a map that I'd vetoed when I'd play.
What do you think of Sky Temple then?
Yeah, I have terrible experience on that. Sky Temple in my eyes is kind of like Haunted Mines. Never play it on a best of 1, ever.
On Haunted Mines.
Haunted Mines or Sky Temple, just veto them and BO1s. Black Hearts to some extent is okay, but get rid of Sky Temple and Mines.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've seen some really fantastic games on the Mines in the past. 6-minute wins
Yep.
As a caster, that tickles me pink that we can have a game done in 6 minutes. But at the same time, I mean, if you go through the history of some of the more popular esports, I mean, you can easily get StarCraft 2 cheese. Your game's over in 3. So coming from a long time MOBA background, Heroes of Newer, League of Legends, Dota, that kind of stuff, a 6-minute game of this type absolutely tickles me pink. But I don't think I've really seen a 6-minute curse. I think my fastest curse I've seen is in around the 9 to 10 minute mark.
I've definitely had single-figure curses. But yeah. I really like Garden Terror, just it goes on way too long in my eyes. Like 35-minute games just separates it from every other map. Even Cursed Hollow, you usually see like 20-minute games because it has to be an end. But when you can actually kill the plant, it kind of drags out, and it just comes down to like you get to a point on Garden Terror where it's like, okay, we can't win team fights, we just have to do or die and go for the back door.
Exactly.
So yeah.
I think my longest game I've ever had was about 50 minutes on Garden of Terror. It's just like everybody just kept dying so many times in team fights that like the follow-up push would just be non-existent from either side. It was so fantastic. Not entirely too sure. There we go, the delay, but somebody's getting water. We are finally going to be entering the Nexus here, ladies and gentlemen. Cursed Hollow once more. Fine. This time, no mix-up on the team names. It's and I can screenshot. I'm keeping my defense. Suki said he was on Magikarp, and it screwed me right up. Well,
he was just trolling. Such a troll.
So troll. And like I had the wrong victory screen last game. I had the team names wrong at the beginning. And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my overlays, when it comes to my casting. So Suki, I'm gonna get you back for that one, brother. But either way, we are here. Game number 1 of our semis. Kings of the Storm, weekly 12 with FourCourt and Haas. We are on the blue, and this is a team that we saw in game number 1. They have the sister team of Tempest that has dropped now, unfortunately, from the tournament, but it is a Wildfire. It is going to be Wargreymon up top, Pickles into the mid, leaving us with Bims, Iacona, and Tsunami to party it up in the bottom lane.
And on the red side, we saw them slowly level up their way to a Gyarados. In the last game, winning that BO1, they are Magikarp. Top lane is X-Storm yet again on the Zagara. Had some interesting moors. Lark Daddy on the Diablo had a pretty good game. Tychus is co-tank yet again. Honeydip switching out the Rhaegar for Uther, and TN yet again on this hammer.
Yep, as I said, it's the exact same draft, except this time it's a Rhaegar ban instead of an Uther ban. So, of course, the Uther was the pick. Now, we saw a really good Wombo kind of setup. Once again, we also have Zagara with that reconstitution. Talents across the board are very similar to game number 1. Will we be looking for more of this combo yet again with the Apocalypse, with the Maw, into this time a Divine Storm?
Yeah, the level 10, there's so much potential for the Wombo to come out from Magikarp. It's just dependent on what ults we see. And yeah, again, this is something that ESV did so well. Yeah, ESV did this so well. Pushing out the hammer lane, just countering it with the Valor, with the Tuster, and they now have the healer down here as well, which they didn't have the luxury of in the first map we saw from them. They had a Stitches instead, so they can sustain up here, they can deep push the hammer, and of course they can force this back and deny Hammer's early game strength.
And Bims presenting himself as the target in that front with that shield absolutely loses no hit points for it. One thing I did notice is in our wet noodle fights, it is going to be Mirrodin and Diablo, Illidan, as well as this Zagara. I don't expect to see kind of any big news from them anytime soon, but our Dwarf went Reverberation, so he's going for the attack speed slow on Thunderclaps.
Yeah, so Pickles' plan is just going to be to jump onto Hammer and slow her attack speed down. That's all he can really hope for.
Tychus will suffer from that pretty good.
Tychus will also suffer from that as well. So he needs to choose his target wisely, as Honeydip is actually being forced back here. He's out of mana, and this shows the harass that Tuster, Malfurion, and Vala have. Got denied. He's tried basing like 4 times now, and got denied each time. And it doesn't matter so much because he's in a tri-lane, but imagine if he was solo. He would just lost out so much XP.
Absolutely, yeah. So, well, unfortunately, that's not going to be any kind of big losses. And at the same time, forcing out the Uther does lead us into a little bit more of an aggression. In fact, Lark Daddy is now even going to be abandoning mid lane to kind of come down here and support a little bit. That feels like a little bit of a misplay, but they do have the experience lead, so that's not really going to be putting them in any kind of disadvantage. The bigger disadvantage, however, is that the Tribute's way all the way top.
Yep, and Kotank tried coming in mid here to try and get some damage onto Muradin. Didn't really do too much as he got stunned up. They actually only missed 2 or 3 minions from Lark Daddy's roam there, so it wasn't too detrimental to their XP. But this Tribute might be. We've still got 2 players down in the bot lane, and they are the damage sources, and Hammer has to base as well. Up in the top lane,
Hammer has to base. Like that is really terrible. And oh, speaking of terrible, Illidan caught the death right there at the end of it all. As you said, without the damage there, I mean, Tychus and Zagara by themselves are going to far outdo an Illidan this early on. And now even Iacona, I don't know what you're doing on that side of the field, buddy, but the line of scrimmage was way behind you. In fact, is he not going to drop? No, there we go. That's going to be a stun. X-Storm should be able to pick it up here with Kotank, especially with that grenade. The Banelings chasing him down, and that is going to be that. First Tribute going the way of Magikarp, coming out swinging this early game. Very different to what we just saw.
Definitely so, but again, once this Illidan starts getting ramped up, level 20 is going to be where teamfights get a little bit chaotic there. And level 10 as well, to be fair. Level 10 is, I'd say, Magikarp's power spike, whereas the Illidan comp is around that later stage, that 16-20 area, where Valor starts to just ramp up so much in damage, Illidan becomes a horrible target to try and peel for, and Malfurion is just healing up everything that Hammer tries to put out. And we're now at that stage of the game where War Greymon is just going to try and take camps and gain some map pressure. As he's already taken the easy camp, now rotating back towards bot. And they could actually catch out Lark Daddy here.
Catch out might be a little bit of a strong word. They don't really have too much to go with it. I mean, yeah, here comes the lockup. War Greymon going to be slapping his way through it, but the Lord of Terror is a beefy guy. Pickle's now a little bit low on the hit points. He's forced to jump out. And Tribute, there it is, back up top. So road tripping it, guys, right through the Nexus, looking for these Tributes. As, yeah, both teams. Now, in terms of damage, we are missing out 1 tower here into the bottom there for red, 1 for the blues. So that has actually been a pretty equal trade. Pickles is not going to trade off deaths. He's going to be okay. He's slightly low on that mana. That could be a big factor in the next fight.
Yep, as the Tribute is going to start get taken here by X-Storm and Honeydip. They are going to be 2 versus 3, but Lark Daddy coming from behind, looking to try and get something onto Bims.
Yeah, Bims actually got trapped there in the corner there from Lark Daddy. He has to force out the Dimensional Warp. He's going to be okay, but it's an interesting little body blocking scenario. I wasn't aware you could actually body block into that corner as well as they did, but these bigger character models, man, they're doing work. The poke and soak is pretty strong. Muradin's holding down the bottom, or the mid, War Greymon holding down the mid. There we go. Either way, we have soaks in the other lanes, and right now, Magikarp's not getting these Tributes.
Yep, this is nice delay of play by the blue side, but they can only do so much. They have been soaking 3 lanes, but yet they're still behind on XP. Level 10s have come in. We've got Apocalypse, Divine Storm, and more. So they're going for the triple wombo rather than the increased damage with the option of Lightning Breath. Illidan falls. Not too sure about that one.
He lost that 1v1 pretty hard. Caught the tail end of it there. Napalm strikes are not dodgeable.
Yeah. And the level 10s for ESV as well. We have Metamorphosis is pretty standard across the board here, and I expect Tacita to go Archon. Yep, there it is.
It is going to be the one that we were thinking of a little bit there. Divine Storm and Maw to set up for the Apocalypse. And I'll let the Odin and I'll let the Napalm Strike just do its work. And speaking of doing work, top lane, Magikarp, they take themselves home the first fort of the game with a very strong showing of the power. They're up almost 11.5 now. That's a pretty solid lead here at the 6.5, well, 7-minute mark.
Yep, and Magikarps, they're gonna take that first fort, and as well, they're gonna take the boss. In a 4-man this, they're more than happy to most likely give up this tribute, although Hammer could sneak it if only she knew where ESV were.
I think it's pretty obvious. They're not on the maps. I mean, the bruiser's already taken, and nobody's going for the tribute. It's pretty obvious. You're right. I mean, she is going to come down here. I think she's just going to poke a little bit, but one volley is all that she's going to be afforded.
Yeah, they just can't get that wall. Yeah, it's enough time.
Yep.
Yeah, they just weren't able to get past the wall there. In such a small space as well. They couldn't get past the watchtower. They couldn't get past just north of the watchtower. So that tribute is going to go the other way. But while they're defending this one, Magikarp's boss is pushing pretty heavily in the top lane. They just need to defend this, and with Hammer, Zagara, and Tychus, you'd like to think that they do this relatively quickly and maybe engage a fight after. But ESV know this, they're just going to back away.
Yeah, it's just going to be boss engages. It's not even going to be a fort from that boss in the bottom lane, so ESV they're struggling a little bit. They are still down an entire level, but it's an important one because it's 12 to 13. What are the 13 talents we have here? Well, it's very similar to the Lark Daddy with that spell shield. He's going full tank Diablo, the giant killer, the group spines, the triple overkill now complete here. I mean, it really has been a little bit of a lack of relentless coming out from the Tychuses that we have seen because he doesn't have an extra hit point bar to depend on. So why does he need to worry about the stuns?
Even so, what's he gonna relentless here? Although there's an engagement.
Yeah, War Greymon, however, he gets down real low, stun and maw into the Apocalypse. That's going to be down for War Greymon. Oh man, never mind. The Metamorphosis will keep him going. Pickles jumping in now, trying to get off that reverberation on top of that back line, but nobody's hitting Kotank. He's getting off some massive damage in the back. There goes the Tastar. War Greymon, however, will finally get stunned and cleaned up. And Magikarp with a 4-man wipe. All they lost was Zagara, and this is going to be a curse on the back of it because there's a tribute way up top.
And who do they have to push? Tychus and Hammer. They're gonna more than likely, they're 100% gonna get this wall here, but they might not get the keep. ESV might be up in time to try and defend that. 3 members popping back up in about 5 seconds.
Iacona, are you gonna head up, dude? Are you gonna look for this stun, for this stop? I don't think he has the range.
No.
I don't know why he started playing around with those giants. That felt a little silly, but the gate, gate down, curse up, 2-level lead, and we're about to hit 16. Yeah.
And this mid lane, there was a pretty big wave here, got cleared quite quickly. As it looks like Magikarps are going to try and get this wall. What do we see at 16? We see pretty standard double Hydralisk at 13-16. Hardened Focus is now becoming the norm on Uther. And that's
could have been imposing, but there's really no auto tactics to kind of make use of that.
Yeah, Valor's got multi-shot and Illidan auto attacks, but Tsunami's now getting caught. Pops away.
Yeah, he's thinking about getting caught, but he doesn't stay caught. Lark Daddy and Honey Dip with those bigger character models for the body blocks can't really do much with a Volt in the mix, but Pickles jumps in, immediately gets Shadow hit back. War Greymon is the skin of his teeth will live, and I'm not too sure it's going to be enough. The Apocalypse is down. Unfortunately, it did not combo well with that Maw. X-Storm now a little bit too far forward, tries to stay alive through it all, is not going to happen. It's a 2-for-1 trade-off right now as Bim's coming back into it. There goes the Sergeant Hammer. Kotank will take Tastar onto the Void, and Pickles is now on the retreat from Honey Dip and Lark Daddy. Iacona once again surviving in the back of it all, but not the prettiest engagement for Magikarp. They definitely did not time out those wombos right.
No, they didn't, and it's what their team fight revolves around. Illidan again, surviving by the thinnest of margins, getting the 4-man Metamorphosis off, meant that he was just there. Like, he left it so late that it's so risky for him to do so. As they secure the enemy's hard camp here, but War Greymon, he says, no, I want revenge here. This is my hard camp. But then decides that he's better off just destroying it rather than chasing.
Yeah, the Bruiser is going to keep ESV a little bit busier. It's going to give them some experience though as well, which will put them very close to the 16 mark. Fully expecting to see an imposing presence coming out from the dwarf, but Illidan keeps engaging and getting absolutely destroyed by the crowd control available to the team here of Magikarp. I mean, just between the stuns, into the Divine, into the Maw, into just Apocalypse. Wargreymon literally almost got one shot in that first rotation, got off the Metamorphosis at the nick, just at the right time. But unfortunately, he's just not doing the damage that we're looking for.
And we actually have double Blood for Blood, coming out from the ESV side. So that's a lot of increased damage and increases the chase potential that Illidan has and the self-peel that Tsunami has. If Tsunami gets caught by a down low, he has that extra bit of speed that can help him escape. As ESV now starting to apply some pressure of their own.
Yep, they're looking to, take down not a fort, but at least the gate. Problem is, bottom lane is continually going to be pushed in, so they're going to get those core notifications in short order. Bim's losing about half his hit points there. Lark Daddy is going to be looking for something to follow this up, because we got the Odin on the board, and it was the only heroic actually used out. But it's not all for loss, and the Avatar has now also been spent, and those are some big losses on both fronts.
Yeah, so what do we have on cooldown? We have Avatar. And it's not too big of a deal, but of course he'd rather have it up here, especially for this tribute fight. Wargreymon just clearing out creep right now so that Zagara can't sustain up. Pickles jumping in.
Yeah, he's going to jump on in, but Wargreymon, he's going to expertly avoid out the Apocalypse. Does also avoid out the Divine Storm. Mirrodin's going down. The Maw has taken 2 people unto its depth, but Tien in the back not really doing the damage. Neither is the Tassadar. Lark Daddy somehow still is going to live. Tien's not going to be moving forward there. The good body block set up there from Honey Dip. And 1, 2, 3, the hat trick once again scored for Magikarp. It's going to be Wargreymon living this round, but my word, they just cannot get a good engage on Magikarp.
Their engage relies on Mirrodin too much. This is the problem that we've seen from quite a few comps recently. There's just no solid engage. Before, you'd have something like Arthur's Snare or Tyrael engage, or like straight up Mirrodin and then follow up. But with the comp that ESV have, it's only Mirrodin. The rest is pure pick. If Illidan can jump on someone and isolate them, great. That's probably a kill. But in a 5-on-5 situation, Mirrodin can only stun 2 targets every, 9 seconds or so? It's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's not exactly like big spam ability. But either way, Party Bush setup was discovered. Oracles and the Oracles and the Storms is going to be enough. Pickles is going to jump on in, but he gets absolutely bursted down. Wargreymon jumping into the backline with that meta will finally take the Lord of Terror and Uther in one fell swoop. This is actually not looking terrible for ESV at all, as my mouse decides to freak out. But Illidan, trying to chase down the Ko-Tank, fortunately is not going to be really the big kill. And Zagara. Zagara's trying to grab that tribute. Oh wow, there's the boss up here. That's keep number 2, dead for ESV. If we can keep him busy, that could actually be a little bit of core damage. But here goes Wargreymon. He's looking for that kill. Unfortunately, he cannot do anything up against that overkill. Lark Daddy is back because of the 5-second revive, and there goes the Malfurion as ESV had overextended and outstayed their welcome. Lark Daddy now looking for the march towards the core, and this boss is going to start putting up some permanent numbers here.
Yep, it's got about a quarter of its health left, just shy of, and it's done 20% already. And with 2 keeps down and 2 enemies down, they can probably look to end this 4 versus 3. They get Hammer Sieged up, but it looks like they're going to play the safe option here.
Yeah, well, playing it safe versus risking it, I mean, that's an 80% core, and we don't exactly have the biggest of death timers left on the board. So if they can march down with a boss, they might be able to implement a kill. They do have Apocalypse ready to go. They do not have the Maw, but if my overlay is not lying to me, the Divine Storm's ready to go, and level 20 on top of it.
Yep, so it's now a Hurricane, and the sprint's going to go in. Tsunami, denied by Pickles.
Pickles are yummy.
I'm not a fan. I always take them out of burgers.
What?
Yeah, I'm that guy.
It's fine.
But this is a curse now.
Yeah, this is, Blue has to deal with this boss, otherwise it's going to just start wrecking the core. But they also have to deal with the curse. Unfortunately, it looks like they're going to get the worst end of both situations, because here comes the last final march. This could be the keep going down first, which, all right, I guess. Playing it super safe in that regard. Yeah. Okay.
Core is going to lose more of its health. Tasta can only do so much, 69% left on that. The Rain Avenger's coming down.
Yeah, but Tsunami's going to get immediately hit. That's not the wombo they were looking for. Even the nuke missing out. Pickles is going to survive through that. Wargrandma now in the back on top of Kotank. There goes the Uther. Wargrandma will be able to chase down, well, I wanted to say the Zagara, but a great Bolt and Divine Storm is going to be enough just to lock up ESV, but still, we're on the retreat here for Magikarp. Core is dying, though. There's 6 catapults on it, and that is going to be it. Wow. That will be a blue victory here. Kicks the Storm semis. Game number 1, not over yet, because it is going to be the best of 3, but yeah, ESV not paying attention to the core at the end of it all.
No, they just had so much going down onto them. And you can just look at the lanes as well. Everything was just funneling in to the core. And it won the game. It's amazing. Catapults are so strong. And of course...
They are now.
Yeah, they are now. And once the core loses its shield, then it's just going to hammer away and keep going and keep going. That was on what, 60% before that fight started out, before the chase? So you had 6 catapults doing 69? So much.
Yeah. The boss broke through the shield, which was the big thing.
Yeah, once that shield
the catapults with the curse. It was the curse. That's why the catapults were there, because the curse, the catapults were literally one-shotting creep waves. And the fight, they finally, ESV had a good position for a fight. They were finally in, that late game scenario that they wanted, but it was too little too late. Some really good pressure. Turns out that boss and that keep was a great idea by the end of it all. So game 1, going the way of Magikarp. Definitely a team that is showing off their stuff here on stream.
Yeah, definitely so. Their first game, I think, in the BO1, they just purely outdrafted. They had a bit of a shaky start, but able to pull their way through. And this time round, the wombo combo, it works for them. It shows that their lanes might not be the strongest.
True.
But when you hit team fight stage, that's where they come into their own. That's where they bring their element. And it's been working. They had a few shaky ones where perfectly timed, but they can work on that. I'm sure that they may not get exactly the same draft next game, but even so, they'll get a good 60%. I think they'll get at least 3 of those picks again.
The lockup on Illidan was pretty severe. I mean, some fights it came down to with 1/10 of his life.
Yeah.
And he was able to just get off the metamorphosis at the end. He looked much better at the very end of the game, but of course it was too little too late by then. So we're going to set up here for game number 2, guys. Thank you all so much for joining us here on this lovely Saturday night. Haas, of course, making the extra effort, because it's what, 2 a.m.?
2 a.m.
2 a.m. over there across the pond. So, definitely a big heart to you, sir. Guys, go find him out there on Hosselite on Twitter. And when we return, game number 2, and we'll have the draft ready to go. So we'll see you in a few.